what is up, guys? It's Camp M here. Today we're going to be doing another movie rating from movies I've seen this year of 2024. And the last one we did was Immaculate. This one is going to be Late Night with the Devil. I saw this, I think these movies came out on the exact same day, actually. And this is the second movie I've seen this year, and I'm going to be rating it today. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, to start things off, I'm going to say I did not enjoy this movie. I thought it was very, very, very overhyped. I actually was very excited to see this movie, and I came in with high expectations, just because of how highly rated it was before I saw it. But it did not turn out to be that way. It did not turn out to be an entertaining movie to me. So it starts out with 1,000 studios or credits to the studios. That's the one thing, is that it took up half of the movie, it felt like, for just all the studios to be named out. And then it came out to a prologue kind of thing where it was telling the backstory of, I forgot his name, the host of the late night show. So from what I can remember, it pretty much tells about how he lost his wife due to cancer, and he got into these conspiracies and let himself down by having all these conspiracy leaked out where he was going to these woods and I think doing some like satanic cults or something. And then that leads to this one broadcast which is the movie, what the movie's about, this one broadcast where he is going to bring back his fame. He's going to bring back his followers, and he's going to make it a big show. So, safe to say this does not go well. So it starts out kind of mellow. He brings in one guest because this is a Halloween type episode that he's going to try to bring back his fame with. And it actually takes place on Halloween. So it's obviously going to be the spooky kind of scary stuff. And he brings in this one guest that can apparently talk to spirits. And it seems like a big fraud at first. He doesn't really, I don't think he gets things right at the start. But then he proves himself by going up to a family and saying, and pretty much guessing that they have a lost loved one. Obviously, they're very emotional about this, and they really don't know how to respond, and they pretty much talk to him and bless him for telling him the lost loved ones and what they want to say before they died. So then it gets pretty dark, and he pretty much starts losing it, and like the psychic stuff, he starts losing it, and I think his nose starts bleeding or something, like kind of like Eleven from Stranger Things. But his name's Jack Delroy, the host of the show. He gets all concerned and he takes him to the back. But before this, the guy that could talk to spirits was asking, who knows this name? Please tell me who knows this name, who is related to this name. And no one's admitting to it. So, I think, I don't know if this happens then, but you later, I think sometime in the film you find out that it was Jack, that the host of the show, that knew that name. So things pretty much get kind of spooky and kind of out of control there. And then he brings on this other jerk to the show. This is the guy that is he's opposing to all this psychic stuff, and he thinks it's just fraud magic. So he pretty much just is a big jerk through the show. He keeps trying to prove everyone wrong and disband everyone's beliefs on this one guy that's the psychic guy. So he gets on the show and they're pretty much debating, but the guy that was just dealing with all the psychic stuff, he starts getting sick, and he obviously is not feeling well. So I think he starts later on he barfs up a ton of black blood or blood of some type, and he starts crawling on the floor, and obviously he is not well. That is what scares everyone and takes him off. They take him off the show quickly and get him to an ambulance. And then you later find out that the guy that was psychic, later on in the movie, you find out that he actually died. He died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital from all the psychic stuff he was being forced to do. So this leads to the jerk being the only guest on the show at the time, and he's obviously saying it's all an act. And Jack's about done with it. After all the things after that, things start to progress and get scarier. Although, like I said, I did not enjoy this film because it did not scare me at all. But it started to progress after that, and they bring on this another guest star that is it's a little girl and someone who took care of her through all this stuff. and they bring a backstory again to it. The little girl was grown into a satanic cult area where they were doing very bad satanic rituals, and she was born into that. So when the FBI found this out, they burned that place down to the ground, and they saved her alone as a baby. So as a result of this, she has been pretty much traumatized, even as a baby. She's pretty much traumatized after what happened, and she is kind of evil in a way too. Being grown up in a satanic cult area, I mean, you're gonna be somewhat messed up. So this little girl was also the subject of a book called Conversations with the Devil, and which is what brought her to the show. This was what they were talking about, and so they end up bringing up, I really can't remember well on what happens here, but they bring up something about the devil and how she can communicate with them. So Jack goes to the full extent and asks the person who took care of her if she could communicate with the devil live on television, which obviously that's not a good idea. But Jack was desperate to become more famous and blow the audience away and get back all his fame. So you could pretty much say he's a very greedy guy. So he pretty much convinces somehow the person that takes care of her, the doctor, to allow this. And as they're doing this, they tie her to the chair, the little girl to the chair, and she is able to conjure the devil. And she pretty much is possessed at the time, and she says things that leak out horrible things about Jack, and that was not planned, and how I forget the things, but they made the audience go whoa, and she says a bunch of stuff that the audience didn't know about Jack. Yeah, there's just a lot of bad stuff. So at the end of this movie, this is the part that really, really let me down. I thought it was actually going to sum up pretty well. Unlike Immaculate, it was very chaotic at the end, and it was to where it wasn't even a good summed up movie. So you really don't know what's right or wrong, what's real and what's not real right here at the very end. So pretty much chaos goes out, and I think everyone on the stage about dies. I think one gets their throat slit, and I think that's the doctor. One of the guys gets killed. Everyone on the stage gets killed, and I think the audience might get killed too. So then you get this very ending scene where Jack is like, you don't know if he's imagining or not. This is why it made me so mad. But he's pretty much going like, he comes back out, and everyone's all normal again, and they're all laughing, and he's like traumatized, and he's all dizzy and everything, and it's like, you don't know what's real or not real. So at the very end, he opens up the curtains, and his wife with cancer, who we've learned out about to start dying, was there in a bed, and she asked him to kill her. So when he does kill her, the thing switches back to normal, what happened before, and everyone's dead out on the floor. And it makes it look like he did this, and the devil tricked him into killing his own co-workers and every guest star that was on the stage. And that's where the movie ends. I was very let down by this ending. I did not like it. It was very vague, and it didn't scare me, and it didn't really I wasn't close to any of the characters or anything. This movie really did let me down, and I honestly think out of the 10 movies I've seen in theaters this year, it's my worst. It's the worst that I've seen. I know the ratings on this movie are really high, and I really don't honestly get that. I did like the idea behind the film, like having a late night show with all this stuff. That's very unique. We haven't done that before. But the way they delivered the whole thing, the whole movie, just wasn't it for me. I did not like it. There were parts in this movie that I did like. I was intrigued in, but most of the movie just really let me down. So I think I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 10. It was a little less than mid, just because it just really let me down. I really came in having high expectations, and it didn't turn out to be what I thought it would be at all. It turned out to be not as great as I thought at all. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10 for being the worst movie I've seen this year. It just really didn't do anything for me. If you're going to put on these big exorcist devil type stuff, you got to give your A game and that kind of stuff. That's like pure horror right there. So when it comes out and it's not that scary and it's like delivered wrong, it makes me think like, why did I come to the theater and watch this when I could just watch like another scary movie, like an older one, like The Exorcist. That's the reason why I'm giving it a 4 out of 10 today. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know most of you may not agree based on these high ratings on Late Night with the Devil. This is just my honest opinion about the movie. I know it's not going to be everyone's. But yeah, this is where I'm going to end the video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.